door open? Okay, never mind. It's been pretty embarrassing because we said that we would start to do vlogs 3 months since we first put it up. It's ridiculous, but there's been so much things going on basically, so we hadn't had the time. But today I figured we'd try to go back a bit in history and see where it all started. So we've gone to our first, or my first, office. Ja. Alltså så här såg det inte ut när jag satt här. Jag såg det var nya fönster, det är nya dörrar. Alltså... Okay. Jaha, det måste ha spacklat på. Or you could almost call it a warehouse or office. It was a combination because we sat there, but there was basically just products all over the floor. Guess you guys didn't follow the Swedish, right? What they did is that they renovated almost the whole thing. When we sat there, there was no windows. Well, they were blocked, but there were no windows, no heat. We sat there during winter time, and the door was, so it was pretty cold. And now they renovated it. It looked really nice compared to when we were there. So I guess everything evolved. But at that time, I remember I think it was 35 square meters, and I was a bit insecure because I think I had like 1,000 euros at rent, and I figured I would never be able to pay that. So I rented half of the warehouse to a friend of mine who had his supplements there. So that was my way of financing the rent, because I figured that 1,000 euros was expensive. And now we have a bit more rent, but it's a different place as well and different time. But let's try and check out the next one, right? It's a bit bigger. Come on. So we're heading to Sollentuna, where we are gonna see if we can come into the second and third office, or HQ as we say in ICIW. I just wanted to point out that this vlog is not gonna be a vlog where you get like tips and tricks on how to build a brand, on how to create something successful, because I still don't think that we are successful. I think that we started building something great, but we have so much to do. And I just want to point out that this vlog is more like documenting my and the company's every day, so that within a couple of years we can go back and look at where we were at that time. Because when I go back to the first office where we just visited, I wish so much that I would have done any video format, like when we received the first order, when we received the biggest order, which was a couple of boxes, and now a couple of boxes is nothing. So yeah, that's why we're doing this, basically to document where we are now and where we're heading and what kind of work we're doing. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So now we arrived in Sollentuna, about 10 minutes from where the first office was. So the story behind the office here is that I actually moved here with my wife 3 years ago. At that time, we'd grown out of the first office. This is 3 times as big, and we figured that once we get this one, we're safe. We can be here for like a couple of years. And 6 months later, we found ourselves, we had too much stuff, basically. So we tore down a wall, and extended the office or the warehouse with another 150 square meters. So at the end of this office we had 220 square meters, and the thing with this one was that at that time we had the warehouse in-house and did all the shipping and packing ourselves. But last year we were only 4 people, and the amount of orders going to resellers, it was just way too much work. And the fact that this warehouse is half floor up, it meant that we couldn't pull the pallets in, so we had to pick the cartons one by one. So when we moved from this office, we also moved the warehouse to a third part logistics solution. Det är dags för första flytten till Bonnier Logistics, som blir vår tredje port. Rätt beslut? Vet inte. Vi måste prova, börja. So nowadays we're not doing any packing or shipping ourselves, but we have a person who is responsible for our company at the 3PL warehouse company. Does that make sense? Instagram setting. This is Anders. I guess you can blur him out. We'll take it later. He's new. I have to blur that out too because they're new samples, okay?